Welcome to the Model Car Hobby Podcast with your host, Luka C. Now here he is, Luka C. Well, hello, my fellow car modelers. How are you doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Model Car Hobby Podcast, and I have my two guests up above me. We have, well, there. We got Big Dave and Frankie B from Left Coast Scale Classic coming up. I want to have them talk to you guys about it. It's a new model show that's going to be coming up in April, and they've got some really cool, unique ideas on how to put on a model show. And well, I think this could be the start of a whole new classic could go on for a long time. So. Hey guys, thanks for coming on and talk about the show coming up.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, might as well just go ahead. Tell us about the show coming up this April.
Oh, go ahead, Frankie. Let them know what's up.
So, we're here just to promote and keep speaking the gospel of the hobbyist that enjoys cars. Got nothing to do against boats, planes, and military or anything like that. That is a beautiful hobby. This is just not going to be the show for it. If you're a car guy, this is the show you're going to want to attend. And what we're doing here is we're wrangling up anyone who's a car guy that does either 164, 124, or the 110 RC scale. That's the new craze right now. Anything under the sun that's on four wheels that you can imagine is what we're hoping to have there.
Yeah, absolutely. We started this idea 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
After the rumors initially when NNL was going to go sideways, and then it did, and they parted ways with that show. This was a culmination from that happening.
Yeah. And where exactly is the show going to be taking place?
Ventura County Fairgrounds, in one of the big Quonsets. So a lot of people in the LA area do know Ventura Fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. Right on the beach, great venue, lots of stuff for people to do, really good hotels. But the venue's 21,000 square feet.
Wow. It's a lot of space for a lot of models.
You'd be surprised, the way Dave's elegantly set this thing up, it's going to feel crowded. That morning, it's going to look like a big empty room, and as soon as we start getting set up, we're going to feel tight just because we've got so many things going on and so many people were anticipating, the vendors, the exhibits. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So, it's a big room, but we're going to fill it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and also something that I like the sound of it is how open you are to it's scale model cars no matter what. It's not just model car kits. But like you're bringing in the Hot Wheels was a thing that I really kind of like to hear. So, but the whole Hot Wheels section of the show, that's like for modified Hot Wheels, like for guys that take them apart and repaint them and customize them and stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That entire scene is just absolutely off the hook right now.
Yeah,
with the amount of stuff that's coming out of that, and it really is a piece of the hobby that nobody's really paying attention to in the show world.
Yeah, I mean they have their diecast conventions, and you have all the Hot Wheel enthusiasts, both customizers and collectors show up to those things. But as far as having a showcase, I'm not aware that they have one. I'm sure they do, but it'd be, I would imagine, an extension of a swap meet or a diecast show where there's an arena for them. But we're opening that up so we give them a proper place, so that they're not a sideshow, they are a part of.
Yeah.
And that's one of the whole things that we wanted for this show to become, something that's going to invite, like we had discussed sometime in the past, even regular guys that just like cars. We all had Hot Wheels when we were kids.
Yeah.
And as we got older, wouldn't this one look cool with these other wheels? Oh yeah. How about if we had this other paint job on it? And that's how those guys started to, get wild and just, I did models before. They're like, I'm gonna start doing these Hot Wheels. And not only that, As we all know here, once you have too many models, it takes up a lot of space, and the Hot Wheels don't. So
Yeah.
your collection can be quite vast and not take up the garage like some of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or multiple
Event.
rooms.
Not for yeah, not for a bit. It eventually does. It takes a bit longer.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I probably got into modifying Hot Wheels years ago. I mean, I had done it over the years, but I did it as a kid. I used to like to repaint my Hot Wheels and stuff before I was ever playing with model cars, and kind of ruined a few of them. Now you look back at it, but yeah, it was fun to change them, change their look. I had a good time with that, and did it a few times over the years. Actually, drill out the two little rivets on the bottom, take the whole thing apart, and completely make a different car out of it or
Mhm.
something. Put different wheels and tires and all that, and so that can be pretty fun to do. Another extension of model car building, the way I look at it.
Well,
And me, I'm like I like the idea of what you guys are doing because you are bringing anything like RC cars or
yeah,
slot cars, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, I
Everything.
remember I just was up at Foster's Raceway in Santa Maria. They're
Yeah,
going to be doing a display while we're there.
yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, to me, it's all part of the hobby of scale model cars. So this is
Absolutely.
going to that you're just opening up the audience bigger. And I know in Southern California, there's a lot going on with all different forms of scale model cars. So it's a good location for that.
I mean, it
Yeah.
has a big car scene, so which is kind of
Mm.
cool. From hot rods to customs to lowriders to the mini trucks and all that other good stuff. I mean, you see it all out here. Low rods and classics, restored, unmolested. You see it all, which is kind of cool. And we think that that speaks to the different hobbies that are out there because I'm sure there's guys that'll take a Hot Wheel and make it look stock.
Yeah,
Just like I'm sure that'll guys that'll take that stock Hot Wheel and customize the crap out of it,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
just like
exactly.
the model cars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's all kind of the same. It all goes hand in hand. Yeah, this should be see pretty fun. Now out in Ventura, I've been out there a couple times here from Phoenix. I mean, it's actually takes about another hour after you got to LA to keep on heading west to get to
Yep.
Ventura. I went to a model show there years ago, but it is a really cool area, and I think that location too will pull more than like a lot of the Southern California model shows I've gone to. Sometimes the Northern California guys don't make it down, and this probably could get a lot more of the Northern California guys. So I know there's a lot of them up there. There's a up towards Sacramento. I know
Yeah.
there's a huge model car following. I know a few of the guys that are pretty regular up there. So that'd be cool to attract more of those guys from up north too.
Well, that was really kind of the goal. Because we had looked at places in Santa Maria, and it just was too far north. You're not going to get the Southern California guys really to go up there, except every now and then to the Cruising Nationals when we put on the model contest there
Hmm.
with Don Graham. But yeah, Ventura was just prime territory.
Yeah,
So we're hoping to pull. We're hoping, and you Northern California guys need to be down here. This you don't
definitely.
have NNL West in your backyard anymore. That's what
Unfortunately,
we're
not.
here for. We're here to
Yeah,
come on over, enjoy. You're gonna love it.
yeah, definitely. This is going to be. Yeah, we got that void right now because the NNL West gone. So
Yeah, GSL gone.
GSL's gone. Yeah, we don't have so many shows here out in the West like they do back east. So
Yeah, it's because they're building during the winter like they're doing right now to
yeah,
go
no
to the
kidding.
shows in the spring and summer.
Yeah, but it's all year round out. We can have shows all year round out here, but April. Well, you said April. What's the date again?
25th.
Let's show everybody this. If I can ever get.
And
There
there it
we
is.
There you
go.
go.
Oh boy.
Hot dog.
And there we go. There's all the information right there, everyone. Write that down, and you can get yourself all prepared to come on out for this. And leftcoastscaleclassic.com.
Yep.
You can get all your information at the website. Find out about being a vendor. Find out about accommodations. We've got a host hotel with the Holiday Inn Express in Ventura.
At the
That's
harbor.
uh, yeah, Ventura Harbor. Um, Kindly made arrangements for us to get discounted rooms for everyone that's attending. Use the link on our website, of course, and we're hoping to nail down one of their conference rooms so we can have our meet and greet there. We had really hoped to have it in a restaurant setting or another setting that had room and food, but it's just really difficult in the city of Ventura because it's so busy, because there's a lot going on. It's kind of hard to tear apart a piece of real estate on a Friday night for anything. So
Yeah.
we haven't given up on that. We're still planning on working that out. And if it happens to be at the last minute, then so be it, because we think it's going to be important for anybody that's traveling that wants
Yeah.
that, early connection to the show, hang out, talk to people. Because if you ever went to NNL West, you got a chance to go to the Slice of the West, which was the awesome pre-model show that was put on at the at the pizza place, and that drew in a good number of people. It drew in some quality builders, and you'd see some really awesome stuff on the table. Where, in no way, shape, or form am I putting anybody down, but you'd see some of the cream of the crop show up at that Friday night gathering,
Yeah.
and it makes it for a really nice, quaint setting, so you can ask those guys. Say you might not be. Um, or you might not feel that you're as experienced as other guys, and it's a lot easier to have a one-on-one conversation with a gentleman there that's done something pretty cool that caught your attention, and you can go ahead and pick their brain there.
Yeah.
Where at the show there's just so many people walking around, and who built this, I don't know, I thought I saw him over there. It's different, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
So when you're at the show, you're really looking for yourself, and if you happen to know who built it, that's different. But at that Friday night pre-gathering, it's pretty cool because it's a nice closed setting. You don't have the loud. I mean, it'll get loud because of the people that are there, but not as loud as at the show. And
Yeah.
so we think it's important to have that Friday night gathering, which we're hoping to nail down any day now. But just unfortunate that we haven't been able to do that yet. But we're
Yeah.
not
That
giving up on that.
that that can be always almost a funner. I don't you want to say funner part, but a really major part of
Yeah,
a lot of the show. A
absolutely.
lot of the shows today have these the night before get-togethers. I think are becoming really an important part to a show that wants to be at that top level that pulls a lot of people from around the country.
Absolutely.
You got to kind of it's got to be more than just the day of the show. It's you want to have more going on that weekend for people to old friends to get together and meet up new friends. Now with the way the hobby is with so much internet connections and so many people have become friends and model car
Yep.
buddies through the internet, either on Facebook groups or they do streams together, but they've never actually met. And all of a sudden, they're all heading to the same show. Give them a chance to finally meet together. So that kind of meet and greet is a really important part of these shows nowadays, and that's great that
Absolutely.
you guys are doing that. That if you can get that together, and it's the first show. Once you get it figured out, then it'll get smoother after that. But
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, I can tell
that's
you from
definitely
experience
a
from
good
going
way
to
to
the
think.
NNL East. Um, I think my first one was about 6, 7 years ago. I
Hmm.
haven't gone since COVID, but I went a few times before that. Actually, more than 7 years ago. I went 4 times prior to COVID. So it's been a minute. But that Friday night gathering, I got to meet a bunch of people in person that I met online.
Yeah,
And similar to, I went to the Southern Nationals in Atlanta, and I'm hanging out near the bar and talking to somebody. I had a
yeah,
gentleman pass by. He paused. He looked at me, and he recognized my voice from an auction that I did or something like that. And he's like, "Are you Frank?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh man, I'm Jeff," and we started talking, and it was like, even though we had just met that one time, in person, it was like we'd known each other for a long time, and that's the great part. And
Yeah.
so I had many acquaintances like that when I went to NNL East. Happened again at Southern Nationals, and it's just really cool to make those connections. They're important.
Yeah.
Online is fun and dandy, but once you get to see these things, the cars and the creations in person, and you get to meet the people in person, it's just a totally different vibe. And I
Yeah. It
encourage people.
changes everything.
Yep.
It,
Absolutely,
it does. That's what's great about going to the shows, especially after getting to meet everybody online. But when you meet everybody face to face, finally, it definitely it takes your friendship that much farther because you actually have
absolutely,
physically met,
absolutely.
and then you realize how short they are, or or tall is what I ran when I met a bunch of my buddies that I had never met face to face. I went to Atlanta, a few years back, and it's like I did not think you were that tall, Mark. I did not think you were that tall, Tim. They were all, geez, I'm just this squatty little guy. But yeah, uh, it definitely it's fun once you meet people face to face, and it just takes your online friendship even farther. And that's such a
Absolutely.
I really think, and I've been involved in this hobby now 40 years nonstop. I started getting very serious about it in 1985, and I have never taken a break from it. And I started going to model shows in the late 80s out there in Southern California, and met a lot of people all these years. And the one thing I've noticed is how the hobby has gotten more, because of the internet. I think it is there's more friendships and buddies and knowing one another. Everybody knows one another a lot better now than it used to be back in the past. And
I
Well,
think you're
sure.
right.
it's to me, it has become such a major part of what this hobby's all about is to go into the shows, meeting people, doing the internet thing. It's just as important as when we're by ourselves at our benches, slicing on that styrene and melting it together with glue. So it's it's definitely an important thing. And for a while we were starting to lose a lot of shows, and it was like nothing was coming and replacing it. But it's nice to hear when we got replacements coming and new shows coming and ready to thrive. And I tell you what, I put on shows, guys. I know exactly what it takes or what you guys are doing, and it is not easy, and it is stressful, and it's a lot of money. And I definitely tip my hat to you guys taking this on. It's something that I mean, it's not you just deal with it once a year. It's an all year round working at it to put it
Yeah.
together.
You know,
Getting
we have
here
our
after the
we have
first
our
one.
Friday meetings, and we touch base with each other and go over topics and make sure that we have our bases covered. Things that can be pushed off a little bit, we'll push them off, and we'll deal with the things that need to be dealt with now.
Yep.
And you're right. There's absolutely a bunch of small things that a lot of people never considered when they
Yeah.
thought, "Hey, let's have a model show."
Yeah. At least something of this size.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I'll give you a for instance. Frank, I've known you what, 25 years?
yeah,
Okay. There's been no point in time in history in these last 2 years where we've talked more. We'd meet at shows every now and then. We'd call and talk, bro.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'll put it to you like this: by going to a show and inviting people that are like-minded individuals, and you don't have to be the bestest of buds,
Right?
but like for myself, going to these shows, I love a good road trip, right? So an 8-hour drive to a model show, I'm down. That's not a big deal. Let's do this, right? And
Exactly.
if we're going to
Yeah.
share a room, we got a handful of guys. Hey, that's even better. So we're all splitting the trip. We're all enjoying the trip, and you get an in-depth look into that person that you already knew was a good guy, and now you end up making a deeper connection with somebody that's more of a friend. And so you
Fact.
build those
Yep.
friendships. They're not just passersby. Like what do they call them? Non-player characters. Yeah, we don't have those.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to make sure that
Yeah,
everybody in my world is part of my
NPCs, man.
world.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and these shows, I would invite guys left and right. Hey, come on, come to the show. Come check this out. This is going to be fun. And out of the handful of guys that take me up on it, you know, all of those guys are solid people, or else I wouldn't invite them. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, he's right. I think this has brought the friendship a lot closer,
That's a
and
fact.
you just get to realize just how like-minded your friends are. Especially if you're into this hobby.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
not all my friends are in the model cars, but out of the ones that are, man, they're into this like deep. Like the rest of us.
Well, you brought up the internet. I mean, I'll give you the prime example on that entire thing. Lee Croden, Crow Customs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I didn't know Lee for nothing. Absolutely 100% nothing. I happened to stumble upon the FFAFF group, which did the 40 Fords and some other builds, and they're doing a 40 Ford build and a Winfield build now. And he and I started commenting back and forth, on our builds and whatnot. And I went ahead and made the chance. I was like, all right, screw it. I'll call him. He's 8 hours ahead of me in England, whatever. I'll call him. Dude, he's come out and stayed with me. This will be the third time from the UK. Did the show? He comes out here and does the shows. But there would be we talked about this last night. There'd be no way in God's green earth we'd even know who each other are.
Oh, exactly. Huh.
So that's where this whole hobby and it just comes together so beautifully.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. That's exactly what I mean. I've seen it over the years of how tight knit everybody has gotten,
Yeah.
and everyone knows one another now. And you go to a show on one side of the country, the other side of the country, or even into another country, and you run into people that you've met online a ton of times, and it's like, oh,
Right.
you already have ready-made friends anywhere you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
very
cool.
interesting. That's the whole thing with that Friday night, get
Yeah,
together. Just
that's a great
cement that
Absolutely.
stuff.
episode of doing that. I think that has become such an important part of model shows today of having the opportunity for having a meetup the night before, where you take the hustle and bustle of what's going on in the show. Where we get there in the mornings, we've got to get our model all set up, and you want to go through the vendor tables and buy and
Yep.
gab about, or haggle and whatnot, and all that. And next thing just the show itself, and then it's done by the time you really start grooving and getting to hang out and talk to your buds. So
Yep.
kind of get that in the beginning, and then lots of times, then everybody starts hanging out after the show. These shows can turn into like 3 segments all the way: the before, the show, and then the after.
We were
It turns
talking
into
about
an
the after
event.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys, I want to say about maybe 10, 12 years ago, I there was a hiatus where I hadn't gone to NNL West in a minute, right? And I got my buddy Henry, and I said, "Let's go to the show." And he's like, "All right, yeah, let's go." And so we go over there. We made friends with a lot of people from online, and after that, very impromptu, we all got together and went to dinner.
Hmm.
And it was really nice because you get, just like, acquaintances that I've made that have turned into really good friendships. I want to say the majority of those people that are all there are still good friends of mine today,
Yep.
you know, that I can call on or that they call me to check on me because it's not just about models. Those are real friendships.
Yeah.
The whole how you doing, how's your family, how's your health, all that stuff. It might sound silly speaking about it now, but those are the other things that people that matter ask.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
know and so you end up with people that matter. It's not just the model car guys. You end up with good friends that care, and it's all relative to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. So, just a kind of little change of what we're talking about here, but still sticking to model cars. I'm kind of curious. We'll start with you, Dave. What is like your? Do you have a particular type of model cars you're into? Do you do a lot, or what's the type of models you build?
I'm more of a custom car guy. It's been in my blood. It's always been that way. Ed
Yeah.
Roth was uh, a huge influence, and I think like what you and I were talking about earlier.
Right.
I wound up working for some of the customizers that I idolized as a junior kid in junior high. So my models lean way more to the custom side than pretty much anything else. But of late, like with our show, we're doing a mini truck theme. So I'm having to go outside of my normal box and build a mini truck. And
Oh,
so
nice.
it's quite interesting because then you start diving into things. So yeah, I mean, I'll build anything if it's the fire's lit under my butt, but primarily, customs and hot rods.
Ah, Frankie, what's your jam that you
You know, I want to say originally it was muscle cars when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so the '65 Mustangs and the Novas were big, and then I got really deep into Volkswagens, and I collected a lot of Volkswagens before I built any.
Oh,
And I think I have five started that I never finished, and they've been in a box almost 20 years. I was going through pictures of the day, and they're like, "Oh, your memories from 20 years ago," and I'm like, "God, I still haven't built that. Okay, I gotta I gotta get on that."
we all
Um,
got those.
then I
Jeez.
went through a little lowrider phase where it was, the hydraulics and the wire wheels and all that cool stuff. Um, then I got heavily into customs. I've put out a couple of really nice customs that I'm proud of, and now I want to go to like the bomb style lowrider, the classic 30s and 40s,
Oh,
lowered lowered cars with all the accessories. That's kind of the stuff I'm working on. But just like Dave, this is my first mini truck, even though I grew up around them. But yeah, it's the first time I'm building a mini truck, and I've already done a bunch of things wrong, but I already know all the purists are going to be, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and that's okay, I don't care. But I'm having fun doing it,
yeah.
and I think that's the biggest part. You know, certain things that aren't fun, it just can't wrap my head around it. But when doing a theme build, if you know that other people are also out of their element doing stuff and working on something that's different,
Yeah.
then it inspires you to go ahead and power through and get it done. And then when you're done with it, then you can be proud of it and say, "Yeah, I did that." Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. That's cool. What kind of classes are we looking at that you're going to have for? We'll just right now talk about the model car section. What are some of the classes, or do you have kind of a layout of all the classes that you have for the model cars?
There's not going to be any variation between the classes and what's in whether it's Hot Wheel or RC or model. We're not really. This is not technically a judged show.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's an NLS show, but what we are going to be doing is going to be doing five different trophies per
Right.
grouping.
Okay. So this is a wouldn't say it's a non-competitive show, and but it leans a little more like you said. It's more like the way the NNLs were always conducted, but that kind of takes the pressure off of oh this is a whole competitive. Got to really have your game on and all this stuff. This is gonna make it more laid back, and everybody just sit back and enjoy the show and look at everyone's models, and
Well,
so it's
I
more
can tell you
display.
this much: going to shows in the '90s, it was very competitive,
Yes.
and while it was competitive, if you were trying to actually compete, you brought your A game. And there were instances where, the same two or three guys kept winning because, it was rumored that they were friends with the judges or
Yeah.
something silly like that. And I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it's happened. But
Yeah.
I can tell you from personal experience, it turned me off for a little while. It turned me off from going to shows. It turned me off from attending those events because it's not a real competition. Not
Yeah.
saying that I had a chance, but when you see the same, two, three guys winning and the stuff was the same while other guys were innovating, it kind of, all right, maybe not what I thought it was. And
Right.
so the NNL way or style, the not judge style, I think it's true to its original intentions, where it was just a group of guys that wanted to get together and hang out. and show off their stuff to each other. Not for trophies, not for medals, not for a prize. Maybe a little bit of bragging rights if everybody liked it, but aside from that, that's it. And so by having a show like this, it's going to encourage the novice builder, it's going to encourage the beginner to come and see, put his stuff out there. And when they realize that everybody has a beginning, an entry level,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has the whatever level they work their way up to, there's no end to it. And so we're encouraging everybody to come out. I mean, if there's a guy out there that's just swapping wheels on his Hot Wheels and he's proud of them, bring him.
Right. As long,
You
as
know,
long as it's modified, it doesn't matter.
if I got a guy that's building snap tights and with a beautiful paint jobs, bring him.
Yeah.
You know, there is absolutely no way, shape, or form that anyone here is going to be like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have brought that." Oh no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
You
I've never
know,
believed in that
it's
myself.
it's all about the camaraderie and the word I'm looking for, but the gathering of the like-minded individuals. And so
Mhm.
think of it like a village, where you teach each other and we can learn from each other. And so that's how I see it. You know, as
Exactly.
much as long as I've been building models, I mean, I've got way more models than I'll ever finish because at the rate I'm doing them, I don't know. I'm lucky if I finish one every 3 years.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I don't care about it. It doesn't mean that I don't want to do it. It's just a timing thing. But my passion for it is just like anybody else's. I just don't have as much time to dedicate to it.
Well,
And so,
sorry.
yeah, if there's a guy out there that's willing to put a lot of time in and has something really nice, well, then we celebrate that. And if
Yeah.
there's a guy that doesn't have all the time but is willing to learn, we celebrate that as well.
Absolutely.
You get a lot of guys out there that go out strictly to win, and there's always going to be that guy,
And there's
which
nothing
is
wrong
one
with
of the
that.
reasons why we're doing five trophies within Hot Wheels and model cars and RC cars, and of course the theme trophy. Um, that way, those who want to aim for that, by all means, bring it, do it. But it's primarily just for everybody in the hobby. Come show what you got. Enjoy. I mean, we're gonna have some decent magazines out there covering the show. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know, the boys from Auto Modeler magazine are going to be out there in force. You know,
Oh yeah. I
Willie,
know that
dedicated.
Scott's very much behind what you're doing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he's got us a quarter page in the latest magazine coming up, and
Yeah, excellent.
he's been behind us the whole way, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, he's the one that hooked us together. What, about a year ago? We
Yep.
started talking about and had you on the other podcast, and definitely wanted to get you guys back as we got closer to it, so people remember and know and plan on it.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely like we saw, like you were saying, through the 80s and 90s, it was like very competitive. The shows, all the shows. I mean, it was, I mean, you had to have, all the classes, first, second, and third.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost a must. People weren't really so interested in coming to the show unless it had all this competitiveness to it. And again, I enjoy going and competing at shows, and I've won lots of awards. It's something I really enjoy. But in my case, it never was. I mean, if I went to a show and I didn't bring any hardware home, it didn't change my opinion. I had just as much fun. Some people didn't feel that way. But now the shift is really starting to turn, as the NNLs got more and more popular, and there were more and more NNLs popping up over the years instead of there was the basic three, in the 80s and 90s. Um, all of a sudden shifting now, we're starting to have absolutely non-competitive model car shows that there's not an award for anything. It has nothing to do with it. It's like we've got Rick the Builder there in Pennsylvania, who he's getting ready in 2 months to have his second model cars and coffee.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, met him out in Atlanta. Real nice guy.
Yeah, Rick's awesome. Yeah, they are going to be having that again, and he immediately put out the word that the second show was coming on. Phew, sold out all the vendor tables, and that tells you right there, if the vendors are coming and buying up tables, they know it's a place that's going to have a lot of modelers there that buy their products. So
Absolutely.
so there's definitely now today, I think non-competitive or NNL type shows are a lot more getting. They really started to become more popular. I mean, Acme is the Southern Nationals. That's not a judge show. It's doesn't have a lot of awards. It's not really about that, and that's become one of the biggest model car events in the country. So
Yeah, that's
and
kind
It,
of
and
the
it
now
was it
goal.
and
was
then out
incredible.
west, who you guys are basically modeling yourselves after, kind of taking the torch as best in your area and that in California. Um, that is it needed to it was a void, and you're definitely filling it pretty quick. So
Well, that was the goal, and the encompassing the Hot Wheels and the scale, and then the RC.
yeah,
There's not a single guy in those three fields that doesn't either hasn't played with, built, or messed around with all three of those.
exactly. I like, and a lot of the guys I know we've all talked about it. I don't know too many model car builders that they don't have a little Hot Wheels collection out the side,
Hmm.
do slot cars or have
Yeah,
RCs. I mean, everybody kind of has one of those or all of them, and to me, I love them all because I've always just liked automotive miniatures, and to me, it's all one big family of a hobby. I think they all go together, and there's hasn't really been anything quite with what you guys are doing that I have always wanted to see happen. Was you definitely got to have a big space, and it sounds like you got a good space to be able to allow the RC car, especially because they take up a lot of room.
oh
But
well.
to have slot cars and to have Hot Wheels, just opening the scale automotive hobby is what it
Yeah,
turns into at that point in time.
well, that's exactly it. I mean, Frankie will tell you how much we're dedicating quite a bit of space to the RC world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
I mean,
great.
that's got a gigantic footprint with
Yeah,
what we're
it
doing.
does.
it's also we also felt it was necessary.
Hmm.
I mean, Hot Wheels don't take up that much space, so they can almost fit in anywhere. Models have to have adequate space, but in order to invite the RC category, you had to give it its adequate space as well.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think our blueprint is anywhere between, I think it's 180 to 250 cars that we're hoping to house
Yep.
of the RCs, and so that's a lot, you know,
Yeah,
both on the ground and on display. It's definitely taking up a big chunk of the floor space, but it's worth it if we're going to have what we're hoping to have, and that's that gathering of car guys alike,
yeah,
So, as I'd mentioned at another time, if you don't even have to be in the hobby to enjoy this show. If
Correct.
you're a car guy,
yeah,
you could
definitely.
just walk in and be like, "Oh wow, this is cool," because you're going to see Hot Wheels because we all played with them. You're going to see some really awesome model cars. You're going to see some really awesome RC cars, and so what car guy isn't going to enjoy that? And so that's another one that you don't have to necessarily be in the hobby to appreciate this. This is really for the car guy in all of us.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the basis. All of us do these hobbies because we are car lovers. We have always
Absolutely.
enjoyed the automobile, and the thing about the RC guys that they've never had, and slot car guys too. They've never really had this type of a venue to show off their work because you see with a lot of like you go onto YouTube and look up RC. There's a lot of channels for RC.
Yep.
There's a lot of channels for Hot Wheels, not just Hot Wheels, but Hot Wheels modifications, and there's a lot of channels for slot cars and stuff. They are all just like they're building model cars. They put a lot into them. They do a lot
Oh,
of customizing and making it their own. It's as far as like RC, it's not like You just bought the main car. You find a body that's usually pre pre-made. That's how it used to be. They just kind of put that together. They're out to go run the thing. That's all they're interested in. Now you see RC crafted models. You know, the RC
Yeah.
race cars and all that stuff. That these guys, they make it the way they want it, and it's made to their tastes and ideas, and they're all very unique. And now to have a opportunity to have a venue to show their work off while it's just sitting there on the shelf is something that they've never had.
Well, the RC car world, especially in Southern California, I don't know other places. I'm sure are on board and catching up quickly. The RC lowrider world, at least Southern California, there's the number of dedicated shows for that has grown exponentially.
Really,
But again, it's bringing everything under one gigantic tent. It has not been done. That's the quintessential thing. It is incorporating all of that. So that's really utmost for us.
yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
um, Armando Flores is actually helping us tremendously with that, and that's really kind of his world right now.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you've got a pretty good crew of. There's more than just you two doing this. You've got people that kind of specialize in each type of thing that are working that end of the
It's
shows for you.
Right now it's the three of us,
Oh, really? Just you
realistically.
three?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of help. Look, the number of people that have reached out that are willing to donate their time to help at the day of the show has been great. But the internal workings, it's a right now it's a dedicated 2-man crew, 3-man crew, and that's
Wow.
really it right now.
Wow. That's a lot of work for just a couple of people. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but we're willing to do it. We're willing to do
yeah,
it. And I
that's
think that's
great.
what's
Yeah, that's
important.
dedication. So
You
You
know, I
know,
wanted to
definitely.
chime in real quick. I'm sorry, but when you talk about like the RC events, and Dave's right, they're popping up left and right.
That's
But
cool.
what I will add is they're more of a sideshow for like a
correct.
big lowrider show.
Yeah.
Okay. And so even though they're all about it because that's their thing, so you'll have guys that own real full blown high dollar lowriders and they'll have their RC collection, or you'll have guys that are aspiring to own someday a real lowrider and have their RC collection. But what we've noticed is a lot of those are sideshows. And
Hmm.
so when we were talking about putting this show in the first place, you know, do we want to attach to an existing car show? And the answer was no. We don't want to be a sideshow.
Correct.
We want everything that we do to be the main event. So I used to describe this as the three ring circus under one big top, right?
Yeah.
Because we have the three different hobbies coming together to form this big event.
That's
And
awesome.
so we want to encourage it like that because no one's going to be a sideshow here. Every car guy is going to appreciate every little bit. Where at those real shows, you'll have a handful of real car owners that might appreciate the RCs, but for some of those guys, that might be beneath them. I don't know because they have so much money into a real car. And so when you come to this show, it's all about everybody that's there. You're not a sideshow to anybody,
Yeah, that's great.
and that's the whole point.
Yep.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Well, before we wrap it up, guys, you got anything else you want to talk about this show? Best way to get there, hotels, anything like that, and any information?
It's all on the website at leftcoastscaleclassic.com. We've got the links up for local hotels that are recommended. We've got our host hotel up there. The venues information is there. Each category has its information there. What I am going to put out there, and it's kind of a sticky point for me, is I want to. We're trying to do a whole bunch of different vendors, so not just model vendors, RC vendors, Hot Wheel vendors, and we're getting them. So if there's
Excellent.
anybody out there that is just now hearing about this and wants to reach out, go to the website leftcoastscaleclassic.com Everything's broken down there. Uh, right now we have a few tables left, not a whole bunch.
Oh,
So
that's good
if you
news.
want to jump in, be a part of
Cool.
something new.
Yeah.
There
We're
you
also
are, right
trying to
there.
be we're also trying to be a little selective on the vendors,
Correct.
and it's in no way, shape, or form is it to omit anyone, but we want to have a good mix of vendors, so we can cater to those three categories. The other thing, and sorry if I missed it because I had a mute for a second.
No
Um,
problem.
but with regards to help with the RC side, we've got Armando Flores, who's been doing model cars for a very long time, does
Yep.
really high quality work, and he's giving us a hand because I don't know if he's jumped in feet first or with both feet in, but he's really deep into the RC side of things, and so we were able to get him to give us a hand. So he's going to be working that side for us. We've got sponsors for that. We've got Tropical Glitz. We've got Coast Airbrush. They're
Yeah.
going to be
Coach
there.
Airbrush will be there in
Yeah,
Florida.
they'll
Excellent.
be there with airbrush setups to teach and to explain. There's a lot of people that are still afraid of an airbrush. They'll still stick to rattle cans and what have you. But they're going to be there in full force to show, educate, and let people know about the different options that there are to building your model cars. And how much easier life is if you have an airbrush, which a lot of people still don't know.
Oh
That
yeah.
guy right there, I don't know that guy, but
I'm on my Facebook group. That's one of the top questions from. I don't want to say beginners, but yeah, beginners or beginners wanting to get into airbrushing is they were always asking, "Hey guys at airbrush, can you? What do I look for in an airbrush? What's the best direction to go?" So yeah, there's still a lot of people that are looking to make that jump into the airbrushing world and just not quite sure yet. So stuff like that, that's great. A lot of knowledge, a lot of learning can take place at an event like this too.
Yeah,
So
especially when you
that's
have a top-notch group like Coast Airbrush coming out
yeah,
and going to be demonstrating. I mean, just the fact that they've agreed to that was just amazing for me.
yeah, that's
I
fantastic.
just,
That's great that you have that.
you know,
So
we're
that's cool.
expecting to see Iceman as well, but he may or may not be vending, but he will be out with Scott.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and as you said, Tropical Glitz and a lot of the aftermarket companies. That's fantastic. Yeah, so you got the magazine that's been backing you. I know how Scott has felt about you, you guys for a long time. When he first met you and found out about it, he immediately let me know about it. You gotta have these guys on your podcast, and we had them on our old podcast, and definitely I wanted to bring you onto my podcast, whichever one here on my channel, get some more exposure for you guys. This is like the perfect time, a few months before it really start pumping it up, and
absolutely, we
get
appreciate it.
people go get onto the Facebooks, be putting that like definitely. I've told you both, get onto my Facebook.
Yep.
It's the biggest model car Facebook Facebook group on Facebook.
Yep.
150,000 members there.
Oh
I
man.
don't care if you guys post every day, and as we
We'll
get
take you up
closer
on
to it,
that.
do it as much as you want. Do it as much as you want. There's a lot of activity on that Facebook group, so
I'm posting
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, do it right now. Yep,
Absolutely.
absolutely. You stay on that, and people are going to see this, but and it's great. I'm always when a new show's coming on because I know what it takes to do this. I love it. I support whatever anybody is doing, putting on another show. We never have too many shows. We need
Right.
more of them. We
I
need more.
before we end it, I want to say this.
Hmm.
The other reason why we put it in Ventura is, let's be honest, we all have families, wives, kids
Hmm.
that will sometimes or will not come with us to these events because they either are not into it or they are. Being in Ventura, you have, if you want to bring the family along, bring the missus. If she wants to go do whatever in Ventura, there's so much to do in Ventura. We're 30 minutes outside of Santa Barbara.
Oh yeah.
They can drive to Santa Barbara and have lunch with friends. There's so much to do in the area. So this is not just model guys. This is a family show, and if it broadens out into the town or neighboring areas, by all means, that's what it's for.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It's a
this is
very
this
nice
is that
area.
one show. This is that one show that we were encouraging people, as we've said before. You know, a lot of times we'll go to a show, whether it's down the street or across the country, and we'll take our hidden stash of cash so we can buy stuff, overpriced stuff that we don't tell them how much we spend on. You know, and this way you get to invite them on the fun part of the trip. They don't necessarily have to go with you to the show, but they can enjoy, as David mentioned, what Ventura has to offer, and then still have a wonderful evening with your loved ones,
Yep.
dinner,
Hmm.
beach the next day or what have you. I will be there probably Friday, Saturday, maybe even the Sunday, just because, we're going to make that
Yeah.
into a little weekend, for the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're encouraging that. We're debating whether or not we put something together for, like, say, a dinner gathering or an after show gathering, you
Yeah,
know, impromptu, unscripted, just see if anybody's interested. We're all going to be here, or we're all going to be over there, and
that
and
always
just
happens.
keep
Yep.
that vibe going,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, if you get the missus involved, that's great. Just don't tell her how much you brought, and don't tell her how much you spent. Nobody's business but your own. I mean, shoot, we all know that one little model box can cost you anywhere between 10 to $180,
Oh
so
boy.
depending on what
Or
you're
more.
buying, just
Yeah,
tell
no
her it was
kidding.
on the discount table. She won't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks a bunch. We are going to have down in the description below, everyone here watching on YouTube, uh, is a link directly to their website. All the information's there. You want to be a vendor, by all means. There's some spaces open. Get there while you can.
Yep.
Sounds like there's gonna be a lot of shopping going on there. So if you're a vendor, be prepared to make some money. And I know that area. I've never heard of a show not pulling a lot of people. I totally expect this thing to be pretty happening for its first year. But
What we're
Hey,
open for.
yeah,
I will
definitely.
be happy with however it turns out, because it's not going to be a one and done.
No,
No,
Period.
that's
End of
nice to know.
sentence.
no,
Yeah,
that's
that's
We are not
guaranteed.
going anywhere.
We're looking to do a minimum of three, and to build the momentum up. Like I said previously to other people, we're not in this for the money.
Nope.
Okay, we're in this to have a show, start our own little legacy, not necessarily mine and Dave's or anything like that, but just to make sure that this hobby has a place to strive, to
yes.
thrive. We need these gathering places. We need um, these people to come together and speak the gospel of the art of model cars and RC cars and Hot Wheels, because Hot Wheels might have been brand new when we were kids, but they're going to be around for a long time.
They are. It's
Right.
been
Model cars, they're going to be around
16.
for a long time.
Yes, they have.
RC cars are just going to get wilder and more creative. They're going to be around for a long time. And so
Yes,
all
I
we're
agree.
hoping to do is to guarantee a safe place for these hobbies. And so this is definitely not going to be a one and done
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And I will say this: we'd be remiss not to mention the fact that we do have a dedicated nonprofit that we're a
Absolutely.
part of with this, and this is the Band of Brothers. So
Right there.
so you'll see them right there. So that group, Echo Vets, they're again, a lot of our veterans are dealing with multiple
Issues.
issues that
Yes.
take a lot of work and take a good community. Um, we know the guys from Band of Brothers and the Echo Vets, up in Santa Maria, along, Orchid area, and they graciously said, "Hey, let's do this." So
That's
we want to
excellent.
make sure that we let everybody know that there's going to be some proceeds for this show that are going to be going to that group, and that's why they are part of this.
Oh, that's excellent. Great. And I want to mention something. I'm going to say this too. All over the country, all the model car little aftermarket companies, vendors, and stuff like that. You might not be able to make it out there, but go onto the website, check out, get in touch with these guys. if you can, because I imagine you're having a raffle, right?
We will be there. There will
What
be
Who made
raffle.
a raffle?
model show doesn't have a raffle, right?
Right.
So I'm sure you're looking for stuff. Everybody, I'm gonna get some stuff together for you guys and
That's
get it
great.
out to you for your. You definitely
Appreciate it.
can count on Luka C Products. So I'm putting that out to all of you out there, and I know a lot of you guys. We're all good friends in the model car aftermarket. You can't make it out here. You're over on the East Coast. Get in touch with these guys. Send them some stuff. It's going to be going one to a great cause. It's going to be just it's you know we want to keep events. No, even if they're far away and we can't make it, you want to support every event that comes along and keep it going because it's such a big part of our hobby and us who have these aftermarket companies. Well, heck, that's what we make our living from. So we want to support these shows to keep this hobby rolling because I really think that the shows are such a major part of it and keeps things going. And how many times I've known of people that end up going to a model show and were never in the hobby before, and they walk in and they get inspired, and then
Yep.
they're hooked. So
Absolutely.
and you are in the hobby every time you go to a model show. You just get inspired and you end up buying more stuff. So that's what we do. We keep
Exactly.
buying and buying and buying.
And buying. Oh yeah. Yeah,
That's
the one
that's
thing,
a part
the
of
other
it,
thing
man.
I'll add really quick that you mentioned the East Coast. It wasn't uh, on purpose. It was more of a missed opportunity
Yeah.
by not having it on the same day as NNL East
Yeah.
this
We.
year.
Yeah.
But next year, our plan is to definitely not have it on the same day.
Yeah.
So
The-
that because I've gotten a lot of interest from individuals all around the East Coast, but unfortunately I've turned it down because it's on the same day as NNL
yeah.
East.
Yeah.
And I
Understand.
don't blame them. I want to go back to NNL East, and I can if I'm stuck at this show.
Right.
Not that show's any better than this one, but I'd love to do them both.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
We
and
didn't.
so
We didn't plan on that.
yeah,
It's just sometimes that happens, but uh, it's it's definitely a thing. There will be as this show develops and stuff. You'll find as the years go on, more and more people from other parts of the country are going to start coming to it
And that's
as
the
the
goal.
word gets out of how great it is.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this is going to be a great one.
Yeah. We didn't want to step on. There's 2 shows in April that we're in the world with, and that's the Desert Scale Classic, which is 2 weeks prior to our show, and then SoCal Open, which is the week after.
Right.
So the really good thing, and I'll leave it at this, and I'll stop talking. There's a lot of people coming out to do our show, and they're going to stay, and they're going to go to the SoCal Open.
Oh yes, I've seen that a lot.
So I mean, I know the boys out of Hawaii are coming. I mean, a lot of the Hawaiian Model Car Marathon are going to be out here for this
Yeah.
show and for SoCal. So it definitely falls right, but it just unfortunately landed on the same day as NNL East.
Yeah, it was the spot that you could grab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't want to tread on anybody, and that just kept us out of everybody's hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of April is such a great month here in the Southwest. It's not cold. It's not too hot. It's just like the perfect weather in April here. So, where I can see where everybody wants to have a model show or an event, any other kind of event in April, it kind of works out that way. But yeah, I think you'll do fine. You'll do fine, and you got to move it around. You definitely had to cater to the regional shows and make sure you weren't in the way of those
Yes.
over show on the East Coast. But it'd definitely be cool to make sure that just for the sake of the show growing, because you do want to pull people from all over the country.
Exactly.
You don't want them to have to make a choice of one or the other. But,
Yeah, and if we have to push it, into the next month coming, into the next month in like May or something, that's something we're gonna be investigating.
yeah.
Um,
The other thing I'll chime in real quick, if attendees help us make this show as successful as we're hoping it will be, then we're looking to expand to a bigger venue.
yeah,
You know,
that's always the goal.
we're trying to be not necessarily aggressive, but we want to keep the momentum going by all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, Frankie, I want to thank you guys for coming on, talking about your show, getting the hype going. I think you guys got a great thing going. You guys are dedicated people to this. Definitely deserve to have this thing take off, and we're going to do everything we can to help you do that. Look for them in Auto Modeler magazine. Again, down in the description below, we've got a link to the website. Check it out, and you're on the Facebooks. They're going to be plastering stuff all over the Facebooks, especially on mine.
Yeah, on
And
yours.
because I will now be officially getting on them if they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be now from here on out. We're going to be hearing a lot about this upcoming show, and I'm sure after it, we're going to really be starting to hear a lot about it afterwards. So,
That's the whole
again,
plan.
thank you guys for coming,
We're
and
thanking you
everybody.
for having us, boss. Really appreciate you giving us the time and the
Oh,
platform to speak about this. As we all, the three of us, uh, agree that this is important for
oh,
everyone in the
absolutely.
hobby, and it's a big deal for us, and we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I do this for. It's about spreading, making the hobby bigger, spreading it out. And I've always been one of, there's people out there. I don't go to shows, and it's like, well, here's one. If you're so worried, like we talked about the competitive thing, if people
Yep.
are so concerned about this, you can go to the show and not worry about that. Bring whatever you want. And I've always encouraged people, don't worry about your model. It's not good enough. I don't believe that at all. I think you take your work and you'll meet people that you will have something in your model car that inspires somebody, and someone's going to talk to you, and you're going to meet other people, and that's what'll help you elevate your building. Never say, I don't go to shows, man. You don't know what you're missing out, because you're missing out on the
Absolutely.
possibility of future friendships and camaraderie. Everybody's call. You, there's always jerks in everything, but for the
Yep.
most part, I've never gone to a show and met a whole bunch of jerks there. Everybody has always been cool, and for me, the majority of my friendships, relationships I've had throughout most of my life are model car people. Most all my friends are model car people. I got this one guy who isn't. I kind of question it, one of my oldest friends, but I let it slide. I guess I have to stay friends with him, but
Yeah, there's
pretty much
always one of
all
those,
my
right?
buddies are model car people. It's such a the friendliest people I've ever met, and we have like interests. That's what makes friends, is when we have like interests. So if you're into model cars, go to a show, enjoy it, man.
Right.
Get more into the hobby, and make a lot of friends. So with that
Absolutely.
said, everyone, again, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Frank, coming on. And well, I always say on here, I'll just say, keep gluing those fingers together. Keep cutting that styrene. We'll see you on the next podcast, the next show, or whatever else. And we'll see you at the shows.
Absolutely.
And here's the producers.